Let's see, time now is 9:51. Talking quite a bit about Gareth Southgate this morning, not least because of a brilliant result last night.
5-0.
So
Brilliant.
that's good.
Yeah, and lots of people obviously saying it's down to him and his commitment to football, but also improving himself. And he's gone about looking at coaching in a rather different way.
Yes, it's all part of an elite coaching system, UK sport. And the idea is the England manager goes through events and tries to take himself into circumstances that he wouldn't normally have to deal with. David McDade has this report.
On a hurricane-hit island, a rescue team works to free people from a collapsed building. At least that's the scenario being played out by some of Britain's best sports coaches, including the England football manager.
Is she definitely inside still?
Yes, she fell.
Okay, just 1 second.
I want to see my mum.
All right, we're going to take care of her.
It's part of a course run by UK Sport, with the England boss attending alongside some of Britain's best Olympic and Paralympic coaches.
Within football, you've got the normal coaching qualifications, so there's a standard route, but then when you get to the end of that, where do you go for further learning and development? And you've always got to be open to new ideas and new ways of working, really. So having, really intelligent people to share ideas has been a massive help.
Some of the learning methods have been different, to say the least.
We've done, like a hostage scenario. We've worked on at the police. Every course, you've learned something how you lead and manage a team. So even though sometimes it looks a bit left field, it actually does really make sense.
You've been doing this for the last 3 years. That spanned the World Cup and the great run that you had there. How much did this course influence how you went about your business at the World Cup?
The first year has been a lot of getting to understand your own behaviours and your own responses to pressure, so that was definitely very helpful going into as pressured an environment as you're going to face as a coach.
But could this course help push England's footballers on to major success?
This has been a course that's helped me to improve. If, as coaches, we improve, then in the end you should improve all of your players and all of your athletes, and that's how the system gets better.
Nice and gently, guys.
David McDade, BBC News.
Already injured.
So, if Gareth Southgate thinks it's good enough, it must be. Let's discuss the effectiveness of these leadership courses with organisational psychologist Sarah Clarke. Good morning.
Good morning.
So why would a coach or a business leader choose to go on this course if they're already kind of in the decent position anyway?
Yeah, I think one of it is you need to understand the psychology. So for all of us, people at home, people here, it's all about how you react to a situation. And there can be 3 reactions. So there can be your emotional response. I feel scared, I feel happy or whatever. There can also be your physical response, so whether you get the nervous, the sort of the butterflies in your tummy sort of feeling. And then there can be a cognitive response. And once you understand that, that's what some of these courses are trying to do. So in a safe environment, they're trying to put Gareth Southgate, or as we do in our organisation, leaders, put them in a position and then see what happens after that, but also coach them, take them through it to get them to learn about that. So actually that when the pressure is on, when you've got a leader who needs to perform in an organisation, they can then have coping strategies. They can deal with those sort of responses to then perform better. And there's a lot of proven research, and the work we do it's all about that sort of proven research to ensure it delivers performance.
Sarah, is there a danger that you're preaching to the converted? Because necessarily open-minded bosses might want to go on one of these courses to be more open-minded, and the very ones who need, frankly, a different perspective probably wouldn't go.
No, and that's one of the challenges we have quite a lot, is a lot of the bosses that phone us up and say, hi, we've got this money, we want to invest it. Actually, they're sometimes not the ones that need the help as such. But actually what happens is we tend to work on an organisational level. We tend to then work on a team level and an individual level. So actually it's about the whole package, and from that you can then see the benefits. But it's all about reducing that fear and having the time to be able to make the difference and seeing the benefit of it.
What trends are you seeing? I mean, we're seeing so many differences, so many changes in the workplace, be it through diversity demands, equality demands, financial pressures, of course. What trends are you seeing when bosses or board level people come to you and say, look, I need to be on this course because I'm feeling challenged by this?
Yeah, I think the biggest challenges and the sort of trends that have happened is if you think sort of back sort of 20 years, it was all very much about you go on an outward bound course, you go in a field, you know, most people have probably done it. It was team building. And they used to do that one course. And then they used to expect from this one course that everything would be better. That, you know, you'd have a high performing team, they'd deliver, they'd hit their targets, they'd make a load of money. And actually it's changed. The reasons those courses historically did have some benefit was it leveled everyone. It got everyone from a hierarchy onto the same level. Now in organisations it's very different. It's all about agility, it's all about having people that are resilient, that are adaptable. The hierarchical structure is very much disappearing now from a lot of organisations, and they're the organisations that are moving up in performance, that are getting in the top 100 list because they have that sort of culture. And that's where you can't, you know, people phone us up and say, oh, can I have a leadership course to make someone confident? No, you can't. But what you can do is you can do a package and you can do it in the round. So, you know, what Gareth's been doing, it's quite a long journey, you know, and I know he has got sort of psychologists working with him to take him on this journey, but it is about the individual. So it's about the individual, it's not about the same solution for everyone, then the team, and then obviously the organisation as a whole.
And unnecessarily, some of these people are coming from very, very competitive, this happens to be sport, but you could be in a commercial environment where winning is the only thing that counts, the most sales is the only thing that counts. Do you have people who want to know who's best at the end of the...
Yes.
So they've done the thing and it's supposed to be very embracing and you're not in a competition, but at the end of it they sit down, was I better than him?
Yes.
You know, or her? Have I won? Do you get that?
We do get that, and I think the biggest thing here is it's all about fear. So if you think of when I put pressure on someone to perform, and I say that it might be that, you know, you could lose your job if you don't perform, or if you don't hit that sales target, then you know you're not going to get money, or you're not going to get a monetary reward. That pressure actually can have quite a negative impact on performance. There's lots of research where we've got sort of people in a room and we've sort of got them to do a very complex task, and the messages they had before have had an impact. So actually it's all about that whole sort of performance. Yes. And you sort of take that out, and it's, you know, it's the psychology behind it, and it's, you know, the science of human behaviour ultimately.
How do you measure it? How do you measure success after, or, you know, an improvement after being on one of these courses?
The way we tend to measure it is on a number of levels. The first is commercial. You have to show the commercial benefit to an organisation. Organisations are not going to come to us and invest money in us if we can't then say, actually, well, you know, you've got a return on investment of this, you've got an increase in performance. Employee engagement's a big one. A lot of the organisations I've worked for, we've got them, you know, in the top 100 list. We've got them, you know, on Investors in People and various other things. But also, it's about the rest of the team and how people do it and people enjoying their jobs.
Interesting, isn't it? My hunch is that most people would like Gareth Southgate. In charge of whatever. He's one of those kind of people. Love to see you this morning.
Thank you ever so much.
Do enjoy the rest of your Saturday. That's it from us. Bye-bye.
Bye.